was weird. Oh, I think we're live, Bo.
All
A few
right.
minutes
Well,
early, so let's entertain. What just happened there?
yeah. So welcome everybody. We accidentally hit that start broadcast button, I guess. So we're here. So we're gonna kill some time before let everybody kind of get into the webinar. Introduce myself. My name is Bo Freeman, part of the marketing department here. I've got two amazing guys here. They're going to be talking about IQ Remote PowerG, but let's take some time to get familiar with kind of GoToWebinar. We have a prompt there to jump into that question section and let us know where you're calling in from. So I'm in Utah right now. We just got some snow. You know, it's a pretty big storm, so not too happy about that. I was on here last week complaining about how cold it is, so I apologize for you repeat attendees here. But let us know where you're calling in from, and let us know what you're doing this weekend. I'm going to try and take advantage of some of the snow we got and get up on the slopes. But everybody, jump in here and let us know what's going on for your weekend. We want to hear. So I'll start shouting some of you guys out here. We have, let's see. We've got Chris from North Battleford, Saskatchewan. We got two Canadians here, Neil and Gordy. I don't even know where Saskatchewan is, so sounds like a nice place. Sounds like a great place.
We know where Saskatchewan is for sure.
Good. I need to get a map out and kind of learn more about the geography of Canada. We've got Joe with Mississippi in the house. Good to have Mississippi representing, Joe. Thank you so much. Looks like we got Chuck from Chicago. We got Jason from Dallas. We got Eric from Rochester, New York. I'm sure it's probably pretty cold up there. We got Pat from Lincoln saying, "Go Huskers." Great. Yeah, go Huskers. We've got Jim. Jim is calling in from sunny Florida, and he's saying it's a great place to live. Jim, I am jealous that you are enjoying the sunshine. We've got Daniel, another one from looks like Jacksonville, Florida. Jealous of you Floridians right now. We got Bailey calling in from Lincoln, Nebraska. Jason from Dallas. We got Chris from Williams Lake, British Columbia. Another Canadian on the call. Thanks for being here, Chris. We're happy you're here. We've got Kenneth Hunt calling in. Good to see you, Ken. Colin. We got so many people here. We got Greg Underhill saying it's -2 in Montana. Yikes. Did you guys get buried with snow, Greg? I think this storm's gonna hit the West Coast. I'm sure you guys did, so hoping it's not too bad. We got Rob from Hagerstown, Maryland. Great to see you, Rob. I'm gonna keep shouting you guys out here just to kind of fill some time here. I got Mike from Anaheim, California. I'm sure you're enjoying the nice weather, Mike. We're jealous. We're jealous. Holy smokes. Joseph is saying -30 Celsius in Manitoba. Did I say that correctly, my Canadian friends? Yeah, that's
not far off. I think we're -28 in Edmonton, so yeah, it's pretty cold.
It's -6 here in Halifax. So
how do you stay warm? I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, we just we just start the fire in our igloos, right, just to make sure we stay warm. Put furs on.
You got to do what you got to do. Holy smokes. Trevor is saying -41 in Alberta. That's just, what do? You don't go outside.
Oh, Trevor's further down, I think further down south of us. Yeah, it's pretty brutal out there.
Good gravy. Then we've got people calling in from warm places. Yeah, another -20 in Montana. Holy smokes. And then Robert's got to put it in our faces. It's sunny and 70 in Maryland right now. Well, I'm happy for you, Robert. I'm happy for you. Joe's telling us he just moved from Minnesota to Florida and he's in the 80s while back home's in a blizzard. So you did the right thing. Joe. We need to jump on that train. And then all you East Coasters that are just saying how warm it is. Holy smokes. I am jealous. And then we got some Texans. We got Paul, Waco, Texas, 63 degrees. Very jealous. Thank you guys for humoring us with that. We love to hear where you're all calling in from. It's great to hear. We got representation from everywhere, and we love that so many people join on this call. We feel that sense of community. We do appreciate our partners. We appreciate you guys, everything that you do, and we're grateful that you're here to spend some time with us today. We're grateful that you took some time out of your busy schedules. You know, a lot of you wear a lot of hats in your companies. You're doing a lot of things. You're installing, you're doing sales, and you're taking time to to show up. So thank you. We appreciate you being here. And just a few more kind of housekeeping items. We will be recording this webinar, right? So we try and record all of these webinars. Once the webinar is over, we'll upload that recording to YouTube. So you can just jump right on to the Qualsys YouTube channel, and this will be uploaded there. You can share that to coworkers that weren't able to make it. You can go back and reference kind of what we discussed today. That recording will be available to you guys shortly after the webinar. And then just to reiterate with that chat section or the question section, as you guys have all kind of found here and chatted in to let us know where you're at, we have some phenomenal individuals in the background here. We have Joel, Mark, and Nate, three of our just crazy intelligent TAMs here. They're in the background answering questions. They are going to do their best to answer all of the questions. Sometimes we get bombarded with questions, or there's questions that we need a little bit of time to kind of think on. So if we aren't able to answer those questions, know that we'll follow up, right? If we can't get you the answer or we don't get to your question, we'll do a follow-up after this webinar and make sure that your questions get answered. And so feel free to throw all those questions in there. We want that participation. We want guests to feel engaged and that you're participating with us. So please take advantage of that. Next kind of housekeeping item is the giveaways. So attending this webinar today enters you for a chance to win one of 10 IQ Remote PowerGs that we'll be giving away. How that process kind of works is we will pull a report of everybody that attended the webinar. You have to attend the whole webinar to be eligible to win. So after the webinar is done, we'll kind of pull a report, and everybody that's eligible will Hackett, my colleague, he will put that into a random name generator, and then the first 10 people that are brought up in that random name generator will win. So Will Hackett will be reaching out to you today. So watch for an email from him. If you don't receive an email, unfortunately, you didn't win. So, but winners should be notified by the end of the day. And please respond to him in a timely manner. He's going to ask for some information from us to be able to get you guys your prize. And please be patient with us. You know, it may take some time to get the order shipped from the warehouse, but we'll keep you updated on that process. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight into kind of how that looks. And my fingers are crossed for all of you that you win and you get an IQ Remote PowerG. So last kind of housekeeping item I have for everybody, we're gonna do some poll questions. So if you're a veteran here, if you've been coming to our webinars for years, you're gonna understand kind of these poll questions. For anybody that's new, a poll is gonna pop up on screen. We just need you to answer that. This helps us understand how we can better serve you, what needs you might have. So we've got 8 polls here. So I'll pull those up, give you guys about a minute to respond to that. Please participate. Just like I said, it's going to help us to have information to help you guys in the future. So that being said, our first poll question here is, are you currently installing JCI products? So are you currently, if you're an installer, are you installing them? If you're a distributor, are you selling our products? And so our answers here are yes and not yet. Let's give everybody a second to kind of answer that. Just give you guys a couple more seconds. It's looking like most people are. We do have some not yet. So thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, we're so happy to have you here. All right, I'll go ahead and wrap that poll. And we've got this next one here. So this is talking about our current first generation IQ Remote. So have you used our current IQ Remote? Just give you guys a couple more seconds here to answer. All righty, we almost got everybody. Perfect, we'll go ahead and close that one. Thank you all so much for participating. Next question here, and I think we're gonna know some of the answer, or the majority of the answers here is, if you've used our current IQ Remote, have you encountered any issues related to Wi-Fi connectivity? We've got quite a few yeses, we've got some nos. Happy to hear about those nos. And for those yeses, that's, we're excited to dive into what we're doing to solve that here with the IQ Remote PowerG. All righty, we'll give you guys just a couple more seconds to wrap this question up. Perfect. Great, we'll go into the next one. This next one is, have you used the DSC Neo wire-free PowerG keypad?
feel like Gordy and I should be doing like the Jeopardy theme.
Do 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 do. There's some of that in the background.
I was kidding.
Oh, we were with
I'll do for you. Perfect. Thank you. Got a couple more here. Bear with us. We're almost through these polls. So, what percentage of systems that you sell, both commercial and residential, are you selling a secondary keypad or remote? Is it less than that 25%? Are you kind of sitting in that 25 to 50%, 50 to 75, or are you almost always installing a secondary keypad or remote on those installs? Awesome. Just a couple more seconds to wrap this one up. All righty, perfect. We will wrap that poll. Thank you for your participation. Next question here. Do you feel there's a need for a lower cost PowerG keypad? Is that something you would like to see?
Pretty leading question there, isn't it?
An interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Couple more seconds to wrap this one up. Thank you all for getting your responses in. Great. We got two more, and then we will jump into this. So we just kind of want to understand what is keeping you from selling more secondary keypads or remotes. Is it the cost, that additional price of the remote? Is it, maybe they're not available in distribution where you're purchasing? Is it the added time to install, or is it that remote functionality or kind of the range there?
This is so unusual. I can normally see the answers as they're coming in. It's weird being on this side of the fence.
Sorry, Neil. Great. We'll give you guys just a couple more seconds to wrap this one up. Perfect. All right, and this leads us to our last poll question. So in your minds, what do you consider the best customer benefit of the secondary keypads or remotes? Is it that ability to, to have the automation control in more than one location? Is it the arm disarm security system at different entryways, to be able to put that at a different entryway in the home? Is it another touchscreen to kind of have that photo frame feature? Or is it the ability to, create stickier customers that are more likely to use the system? All righty, just a couple more seconds. Perfect, great. Thank you all so much for your participation in those polls. I know those are a lot of polls, but that information is great for us to kind of help going forward. So just to reiterate before I introduce our presenters here, this will be recorded. This webinar is going to be recorded to be entered into to win one of those 10 IQ remotes, PowerG remotes that we're giving away. Make sure you attend the whole webinar. Please stay on. We've got some really good content, so stick around. And those are kind of my housekeeping items. So without further ado, you probably already know these two men. We have Neil Jones, Gordy, he goes by Gordy, right? That's who we've got here today. Neil's the guy I go to whenever I have questions. Full of knowledge, great guy. You guys know who Neil is. Gordy, same thing, so much experience, so much knowledge, so much that these two bring to the table today. We're so excited to hear from them. I feel fortunate, and I will turn the time over to you, Neil and Gordy.
All right. Go ahead.
We're all excited to be here for sure. Both me and Neil are 30 years in the industry almost. I think Neil might be a little bit longer, and we were excited about the release of this IQ Remote PowerG. This keypad alone, it checks all the boxes for me personally, but I know Neil will go into a lot of the technical details. But why this keypad stands out in general is because we listened to our clients, we listened to our customers. The voice from all of you that talked about our keypads that we have available now, some of the issues that you had in the field, whether it's mounting, Wi-Fi connectivity issues, distance. I believe we've checked all those boxes, and we're going to go through some slides today just to show you what we've come up with and how excited we are with it. It's available to pre-order now. The part number is IQR-PG for PowerGordy. I was going to say, Neil, did you hear that? But it's not named after me, everybody. It's PowerG. PowerG. It looks exactly like you see in the photo right now. It's got a large speaker at the bottom, nice white bezel all the way around, and the graphical interface is identical to what the Qualsys panel looks like today, like the IQ4. Yeah, Neil's got one right in his hand right there with a desk mount bracket on it. Vanna Neil, I like it. Let's move. Some of the points that we're going to talk about that stand out for this keypad. It is just a keypad, so we want to define why we made this keypad, and some of the reasons why. It's got a 7-inch touchscreen, similar to what we're already used to. It has a 24-hour backup battery, so this unit will last for 24 hours. It's compatible with our IQ Panel 4, our IQ Hub 4, and our IQ Pro product. Smart home control, you can do lights, locks, thermostats, over-the-air upgrades. You can basically push new firmwares and updates to it. But the thing that makes it stand out the most to me is the PowerG functionality. We're all in love with PowerG. PowerG in general is about distance. It's about reliability. It's about the encryption and just the security of using a proper, secure wireless frequency for your security. It makes sense, in my opinion. We are the industry leading for range and reliability. I've actually taken this keypad, so I've had one as well. Neil was sent me one to play with, and I was excited to use it. And the PowerG, I would actually be able to walk right up my street, like further than I could see my home, and arm and disarm the system that I had back at my place. That's why we'd want PowerG. Now there is a few limitations with that PowerG that we'll get into a little bit later, but PowerG in general checks the box with distance, with the security encryption of the wireless signal, and eliminates truck rolls. I'll go through each of the features. Pretty simple. 7-inch touchscreen. It's large. It's easier to use. It's better than just putting a rubber button keypad on another wall in the garage, for example, or in the warehouse of a commercial application. It's got the graphical interface. It's identical to what they're using maybe at a different location in their business or home. You can scroll through, do your automation. You can arm and disarm. There's no retraining or anything like that you'd have to do with the rubber button keypads.
Yep.
Talked about battery backup. Battery backup meeting all the ULC and UL ratings for 24-hour backup, and that's on the IQ Pro product.
Yeah, I mean, the battery will last 24 hours when paired to an IQ4 or an IQ4 Hub, but just from a ULC rating standpoint, it is only on IQ Pro currently.
But it does have that ULC rating, which is very important to a lot of our dealers for sure. Over-the-air upgrades.
You go ahead, Gordon.
Go ahead. Over-the-air upgrades, very simple. We come up with some new items that this keypad can do, some new bells and whistles that maybe by listening to our clients and our customers, we can come up with new ideas together. We were able to push those to the panel with firmware upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Smart home control, I mentioned this earlier, where we're able to turn on lights, locks, thermostats, all the automation functions the same way you can do it from a IQ4 or an IQ4 Hub.
Yep. All right, so from a compatibility standpoint, IQ Remote PowerG is, as Gordy mentioned, it is compatible with IQ4, IQ4 Hub, and IQ Pro, right? So if you're going to pair it to an IQ Pro, you do have to be on the 4.2.1n firmware, which is literally being released in the last day or so. So this will be for IQ Pro. And then for IQ4 and IQ4 Hub, it requires 4.3. And 4.3 is currently looking like a March 8th, March 9th that we'll be able to put 4.3 out, and you'll be super excited for a lot of the features. Some of you saw a sneak peek I put on our Facebook group a couple of weeks back of some of the features in 4.3. But I think you'll be pretty excited to not just get IQ Remote PowerG, but to be able to see what we've been able to do with the IQ panels with the 4.3 firmware.
Here we go with the, do you want me to take this slide, Neil? I see the pause there. We've done these things so many times together that it just becomes normalized, right? So, like I said, this keypad is the perfect solution for residential or commercial applications. You can picture this, in multiple locations throughout the business or home. You could add it on a second partition in an outbuilding on a commercial application or a garage. I think it's a great application there. It's got PowerG for that extended range. So you're not worried about putting it in an outbuilding on distance where you used to have to worry about that with the Wi-Fi. You can put up to 8 per system as well, which is quite exciting. I think we had a limitation of 5 on the older unit, but 8 of these units would make quite a powerful system. If you go back in time, and I've been at this for a long time, it used to be common to have a keypad in the bedroom, to keep a keypad in the basement, keypad at every door and every exit. It's not quite as common now, but it definitely makes the system more usable, and the function for the end user is so much better.
Evidently, I switched screens. There we go. All right, so I guess I'll take this one. So this, there are, like Gordy mentioned, there are limitations depending if you're paired by PowerG or Wi-Fi, right? So, from a security control or an automation control standpoint, PowerG or Wi-Fi, you have it. The OTA firmware updates, same thing, PowerG or Wi-Fi. The difference is on PowerG, what it'll do is it'll check in with the panel and say, hey, is everything, is there an update for me? And then if there is, it'll actually turn on the access point of the panel. It'll download the update, so that's when paired by PowerG. Obviously, when paired by Wi-Fi, it just loads the image right away. You get all the chimes, voices, beeps, and sirens, systems, alerts, and alarms, and the emergency panics, right? So those are all available on PowerG or on Wi-Fi. So when paired by PowerG or paired by Wi-Fi. So ADC scenes and weather, the live view of the alarm.com cameras, and the live view of the alarm.com doorbell is Wi-Fi only, right? So, and I know right away there's probably, I'm not looking at the questions because I don't want to get distracted. People are probably saying, Wi-Fi. This is an all new design, right? So let's first be clear from the current IQ Remote to this IQ Remote. It's an all new design. It's got a new Wi-Fi chipset, a new Wi-Fi antenna configuration. We've had these units for quite a while. Haven't seen a single issue with Wi-Fi. Hasn't dropped once. It's definitely more reliable. But again, right? You can have what works best for you. Pair it by PowerG or pair it by Wi-Fi. Down the road, we are looking at probably in a 4.4 or a 4.5 firmware update. We're going to look for the ability for a dual path. So it'll be paired by PowerG, connected to Wi-Fi, and then you could still potentially have all of your the features under PowerG, working over the PowerG protocol, and then still have scenes and weather and cameras and doorbell via Wi-Fi. Nothing set in stone. It is something we're looking at working on. We actually had a call right before this to go through the tickets to see what we want to get in the next few releases. But I think you're going to be pretty impressed with the performance that this remote can give you. The specifications are simple. 7-inch touchscreen, like Gordy said, it's PowerG. It has Wi-Fi on 2.4 or 5, so you can choose which band it is using. To Gordy's point of 8, it's 3 paired by Wi-Fi and up to 5 paired by PowerG, right? So up to pair it, 3 on Wi-Fi, up to 5 on PowerG, 8 total. It does have a speaker, does have a microphone. It's running on 12 volts, again, 2600 milliamp battery, 24-hour. It is user replaceable, right? So we've heard that feedback again on the first generation IQ Remote. It is very simple. It's user replaceable. If anybody's seen IQ Hub, we'll call it IQ3 IQ Hub. Similar shell, similar way of doing it. Small screw in the back, pop it out, pop the battery in. Very, very simple. We do have partition support currently for any single partition. So you can have this paired to, onto partition 2 and your panels on partition, 3, whatever the case is, but it's one partition only currently. It's got the wall mount, optional table stand, obviously running Android. And then it's got a very powerful processor. So we have an octa-core 1.4 gigahertz processor in here. This remote will definitely be a game changer for everybody versus what you were currently familiar with the first generation IQ remote. Am I still here? Like, I feel like my camera's frozen.
Yeah,
Am I still here?
you are frozen a bit, Neil, there, but your audio's coming through just fine. So
perfect. Yeah. Well, I'm frozen with a stupid look on my face, so that's perfect. So this is what the pairing screen looks like. Slightly different than what you're currently used to with the current IQ remote. You'll still see the Wi-Fi, all the Wi-Fi channels on the left, and then you see two options: Wi-Fi pair, PowerG pair. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, what is different is the way it's going to be paired, right? From a Wi-Fi standpoint, it's the same. On your primary panel, you're going to go into settings, advanced settings, installation, devices, choose Wi-Fi devices, choose IQ remote devices, press pair, and then you're going to go to the remote and press pair as well. I'm going to turn my camera off and see if I get it to come back on. Now, from a PowerG standpoint, you're going to be same thing, settings, advanced settings. I don't know what I'm doing here. Settings, advanced settings, installation devices. So slightly different. You're going to go on the security sensors tab and then auto learn, right? So you're going to hit auto learn, and then you're going to go to the IQ Remote PowerG and just press PowerG pair. I don't know what's going on with my webcam. I guess you're on your own from a video standpoint, Gordy. This is the
that's
fun
okay.
of
I don't mind.
This is the fun of live video.
Yeah.
So that's pretty straightforward, right? So if you're pairing on Wi-Fi, you're going to use the way you currently paired an IQ remote. And if it's on PowerG, for lack of a better term, you're going to pair it like you would a security sensor.
I might chime in right there, Neil, as well, because just talk about my own personal experience with pairing it. So I'm in sales, but I hook up and play and test every single thing before I actually present it to a customer. I do that on purpose because I just want the confidence of it. So at first, I hooked it up on my this keypad that I have in my hand right now. I hooked it up on my Wi-Fi, and I have amazing Wi-Fi because I'm using IQ Wi-Fi 6. But I was able to walk almost to the end of my driveway with arming and disarming, and I had my son pushing my doorbell at the front of the home, and I was able to stream that to the keypad itself in real time. It was very, very quick. So I was really impressed with that. As soon as I switched over to PowerG, I came back, repaired on PowerG. The process was quite easy. I was able to walk all the way down the street. Now I could only arm and disarm, but I didn't get the video streaming to it. But I don't think we're worried about the video streaming to it and some of those odd applications that we're putting the panel really far away. But thoroughly impressed with the way it functions. That 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi has been a game changer when it comes to the reaction time and everything, the way that it works. So just wanted to give you my feedback because Neil sent this to me blind, and I hooked it up to this IQ Pro behind me as well, and the process in that was great as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great feedback, Corey. So this is clearly what the UI looks like. This is, as you can see, this is a 4.3 feature, so silent arming. So you will see that in 4.3. So if you actually press that little icon, the panel does exactly what it says. It's silent arms, right? No beeps, no chimes, no nothing. It's really cool. So this, again, is what the UI would look like. This one is paired by Wi-Fi. You can see the alarm.com scenes here on the bottom left. So this is paired by Wi-Fi, and that's why you can see it like that. So when you're paired by Wi-Fi, you'll have slightly different views, right? So first thing you'll see, this is your drop-down status tray. You see settings, photo frame, your clean screen, and your language. If you're paired by PowerG, you only have settings, photo frame, and clean screen. But you will see that the cellular icon, and this is something that we're probably going to change down the road, but the cellular icon is actually what it's representing is the PowerG card signal strength. So instead of putting a whole new icon in, we reuse the current one. But again, right, all that is showing is actually the PowerG card signal strength directly on the UI. And then this is where we just want to help people understand. So this is the settings menu when paired by PowerG, right? So you get the usual about, master reset if you wanted to, connect it to Wi-Fi in the back end, the display. And then there's IQ Remote PowerG upgrade. So if you want to, so when you upgrade a panel, it will there's a timer. We'll say, it'll check for upgrades that I can't remember if it's, I want to say it's 4 hours. The remote will check for upgrades. It's something we're actually working on fixing. But if you want to get the remote to upgrade right away, you literally hit IQ Remote PG upgrade, and it'll upgrade the image through the panel's access point to the IQ Remote. And then one thing that's different here as well is PowerG system logs. So if you do have any situations where you're having a challenge or there's something that you want us to look at, you can actually upload the logs directly from the remote to our backend. Right? So very fluid. And it's just going to give us the advantages to be able to help troubleshoot any problems going down the road. Not that I think you're going to have any. I'm going to let Gordy, we literally only have one slide left, but I'm going to guess that there's a ton of questions because I can see it scrolling on my other screen. So I think we'll just go to the last slide for now, and then we'll take some questions from the team. But that's, there you go, Gordy. This one's all yours, bud.
Okay, well, I think it's simple. We've created a product that everybody wants, and we made it work a lot better than what we had in the past, and added the functionality with the PowerG. That 7-inch touchscreen, Wi-Fi, and PowerG. So the only real thing is choice. Do you pair it with Wi-Fi for the max speeds and the video solutions like your doorbell streaming or your alarm.com camera streaming to it? And if you use IQ Wi-Fi 6 with that solution, it's even better in my opinion, because that's, from my perspective, IQ Wi-Fi 6 is life-changing. It definitely is. Or you switch over to PowerG for that max range. So you're doing a large warehouse application that needs 3 or 4 keypads spread out throughout a large commercial application, or you're doing a separate building, or you're doing a very, very nice home that wants touchscreens everywhere. But it's a large application. That's where you'd switch to PowerG. You'd have the security of that encrypted PowerG signal, the distance, the range, just stable, if anything. I'm excited for it, and I tested it, and I love it.
It's Gordy approved. Is that PowerG approved?
PowerG approved. Neil loves it when I say that.
Drives me up the wall. I think it's fun though. All right, so Bo, Joel, Mark, Nate, do we have any questions were we giving people a lot of time back in the day?
Yeah, this is Joel. I'm going to jump right in here because they're just pouring in, but there's a few things I think that should be reiterated. So
Sure.
A common question I'm seeing pop up is, can we pair this over PowerG and Wi-Fi at the same time? I know you touched on it, but can you reiterate, please?
Okay, so you can pair it. No, let me rephrase that. It could be paired to PowerG and then be connected to Wi-Fi. But currently, right now it's single path. So whatever you're choosing as your pairing method, be it PowerG or Wi-Fi, that's what you're paired on.
Perfect. The other one that I'm seeing pop up a lot is, will it work with IQ 2 Plus? I know you covered it, but any further detail?
That's a loaded question. So, unfortunately, from a PowerG standpoint, no. Right? We will never be able to make this work from a PowerG standpoint on IQ Panel 2. The main reason, and not to get into too much technical, babble about it, the main reason is the PowerG modem that's in the IQ 2 versus the IQ 4. There's, significant differences between the two. We are looking to see if we can make this work on Wi-Fi on IQ 2. We're not, I can't commit to it. We have a project open where we'd be able to connect this over Wi-Fi to the IQ 2s. It would require, if we can make it work, it'll require 2.8 firmware, which is coming out probably late April, early May. But it is something that we are committed to try to make work. We think we can, but again, until we actually we have the build to test it on, we can't say for sure. But it is something we're trying to do, is make Wi-Fi availability for IQ2.
Multi-partition support?
Right now, single partition, but it is something we're looking at. Probably not able to do over PowerG. It's a lot of information. At the end of the day, PowerG is a very, a very good protocol. It's got incredible range. It's got incredible encryption. But from a bandwidth standpoint, it's a little tough to be able to do multi-partition. I think it's something we'll be able to do on the Wi-Fi pairing. But it is something, again, right? It's something I asked from day one, was multi-partition support. So the team is working on it for sure.
We got more than a few questions of dealers asking what's the purpose of the microphone? Do we have any future plans for it?
Wow, you guys are great today. Lots of good questions.
Good question.
Yeah,
Very good
I mean,
question.
I can't imagine what a microphone would be used for. Yeah, there is a goal to be able to do live answer and live talk down, so to speak, with ADC cameras and doorbell. So there is a microphone and speakers, obviously. That's it, Joel?
I saw a
No.
few questions regarding Z-Wave. Anything you can elaborate? Kind of, is there a Z-Wave repeater? Anything along those lines?
No, there is no Z-Wave in the IQ Remote PowerG. No, it is something we did talk about, but at the end of the day, we need to make this as cost effective as possible as well, and that would add some significant cost.
Okay, another question I saw. Sorry, Joel, I'm interrupting you.
Right.
Mounting.
Go right ahead.
What does our mounting situation look like with the IQ Remote PowerG?
If you're talking about the backplate, we're not going to have the problem that we did on IQ4.
That's always what they're talking about, Neil. We got to have a good backplate. Yeah.
It's got a good backplate. It's got a good table stand. There's no tamper issues. It's solid. It's solid from that standpoint. Good question, though. I was expecting that one.
So I got one really quick. This one came up when we first started the presentation, and I know it's loaded questions, but I'm going to ask it anyways. I don't
do this to you guys when you're presenting, but yeah, I'll give you all the loaded questions.
We showed that it's in pre-order, but more than I mean, the vast majority of people that were on this were asking when will they receive it? If they would go pre-order, when will distribution get it?
So we will not ship this until 4.3 releases. So that again in March 8th, 9th. These I'd envision ship by the end of March. Yeah, we're literally just finalized the code for 4.3. These are already built in the factory and getting flashed to the most up-to-date firmware release right now. So I'd say we're end of March, April, but I'd be closer to the end of March. These will ship. The idea is ship right after ISE. That's it. Your shirt looks great, Gordy.
What? My shirt? Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. There I am.
Looks great.
You look
Got a
good
question about table stand. Will this ship with a table stand, or is that something that has to be purchased separately?
That is a great question. Originally, it was definitely you would have to buy them, but I have a feeling I got a brand new shipment today, so I'm gonna find out. I got an IQ Remote PowerG.
This is like a box opening. You should tilt the camera down.
It's like I'm unboxing. I got a wall mount, I got a power supply, and I have a table. So they are shipping. It looks like they are shipping with a table stand.
Hey Neil, how many can be paired to one system?
8, 5 by PowerG and 3 by Wi-Fi.
5 PowerG, 3 Wi-Fi.
I always like to look at Neil when I'm answering those, just so I'm 100%. What? By the way, Neil, you're wearing my hat.
I'm wearing your hat. Yeah. If you use the wire-free PowerG pads, we're not going to try and hide. There is an inherent delay in the power protocol to be encrypted. I can say the team has done an incredible job. You call it the delay or the lag that you sometimes see on the PowerG rubber button keypad has been greatly reduced. On average, we're seeing 1.5, 2 seconds. It's tested extensively as well. It's more than good. I'd say it's great. But the team, we're pretty demanding. We told the team we want it, faster, go faster. We want less. So the team is constantly going to be working on making it as close to Wi-Fi performance as possible. Like on Wi-Fi, it's instant. It's literally instantaneous. your finger's coming off the screen and the panel's already responding. And you got like 1.5, 2 second, I'd say closer to the 1.5 on the PowerG protocol, but it's still something that we're going to work to get reduced.
We're
never
noticeable though, Neil. When on my test, it was not noticeable as much as I expected, especially when you got away from other keypads. Like once I got out and I couldn't hear another keypad, it was almost as fast as I could type, even on PowerG. Slight delay, but not too much. I think it's definitely, it functions the way it should function.
Oh, 100%. The team, the engineering and our software and our development teams have done an incredible job on this.
Amazing team.
Any other questions back there, guys?
I see a
If
lot
I sound
of
a little muffled, if I sound a little muffled, I had emergency mouth surgery a few days ago, so little sore at times. But go ahead, Bo.
Sorry, Joel, I interrupted you again. I've seen it pop up a few times. Are we considering a black option to match the black IQ Panel 4? Is that something that's been discussed?
I wouldn't say anything's off the table, but we would have to take a look at our run rate on the black IQ4s before we could make a strong decision on that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a shell, but it is something that we've definitely already asked the question if we'll have a black one, but right now I can't say for sure we will or we won't.
Black seems popular when you talk about it, but it's not popular on actual sales. We've proved that with the IQ4 Black and the IQ4 White, because we have both offering into the field, and I think black looks better. I think it looks richer on the wall when you mount it to the wall, but it has not grabbed as much traction. If we had appropriate forecasts, I'm sure we'd build black touchscreens without question.
Yeah, I have a black panel in my house. I love it. I'd love to have a black IQ remote, right? Maybe I can get engineering to make me a shell, but I'd be surprised. But yeah, it's definitely something that we've had conversations about for sure.
All right, I've seen this one pop up quite a bit, so we're gonna ask it. Is this now, or will it ever be compatible with Neo or Power Series Pro panels?
I never say never, but I would say it's highly unlikely that this will be compatible with Neo or Pro. It will be with IQ Pro. Keeping in mind that Neo and Pro are not running the Android at the Android layer. It would be a very, very heavy lift to add this to Neo or Pro.
One nice thing just to back up that question though too, Neil, is the IQ Pro works with all the Neo keypads, all the Neo expanders, including the Neo touchscreen as well, with a new graphical interface built into it. So, we will be able to check that box, but in the opposite direction. We're IQ Pro Plus that's being launched is a Neo and an IQ4 put together in the same can. So it's close to checking that box, but I can't see this keypad working on a Neo. I would love it to, because that's my favorite panel.
so would Travis. I mean, yeah, again, right, it would be a heavy lift, but yeah, to Gordy's point, that's something that's changed on IQ Pro. So don't forget, come back in 2 weeks for a 2-part session on IQ Pro. But that is one of the things we changed on IQ Pro, was based on feedback during beta, was that people would love to have the Neo touchscreen, also be compatible. And we were able to make that change between the soft launch of IQ Pro and the full launch of IQ Pro. All right, Bo.
Great.
Joel.
Any other TAM questions in the background you guys want to bring up?
I think we answered most of them. There were, if you want one more, I've seen this one pop up a few times.
Sure.
It's when it has to, you mentioned AP and the OTA over PowerG. Can you explain that process one more time? A lot of folks are asking if the remote isn't near the IQ panel when the AP turns on, how would it get the OTA?
It's a valid question. So yeah, if it's paired by PowerG and is not connected to Wi-Fi, then it does require to be in within range of the panel access point. One of the good things about the way IQ Remote PowerG was designed So even if your panel was on 4.4, you know, your remote will still work, right? So if for some reason it's not in range, it can't get the OTA update, it'll still work. So even if your remote was on 4.3, it'll still work on a 4.4 panel, a 4.5 panel. So there is, you know, we are looking at different ways to do these OTA firmware updates. We obviously can't send them over the PowerG protocol. It would, you know, it's just too much data. But yeah, it is something we're looking at. But yeah, I mean, the good thing is, again, your panel will be on 4.5, your remote's on 4.3, it'll function normal. The only difference is, you know, if there are new features in 4.5, those will not show up on the remote until you're able to do, you know, either, you know, get it within the access point range, or, you know, have the, you know, potentially have, you know, not the ideal situation, but potentially have the end user bring it over closer and do a PowerG upgrade, and just by hitting the PowerG upgrade directly in the settings menu.
One thing we might want to end off on, Neil, is that go back to the beginning slide there where it shows the part number.
Oop. I'm clicking my other screen. Like, why is it not moving?
That's all right. Everybody knows this is live.
Yeah, I never know my laptop's still there. All right, there we go.
Oh, that one right there, exactly. So, you know, we want to leave that on that screen because we want you to pre-order this panel now. Like it's what everybody was looking for, what everybody has asked us for, and a little bit more, I think. IQR-PG is the part number. Put some orders in. I do believe they'll be delivered by the end of March, right around ISC timeframe, like Neil had brought up. And I think I hope we answered all the questions.
Yeah, we've got some in the background, right? And if we didn't get to those questions, we will get to them, right? That's something we will do. We'll commit to that. We'll do that follow-up. We'll make sure those questions do get answered. I think that's a good time to kind of wrap up here and close with some housekeeping items. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Gordy. You guys did a phenomenal job. And I just wanted to reiterate, like, the power of PowerG, right? The flexibility that's going to provide to you. Gordy mentioned that, like, we're trying to build products and solutions for you guys to custom tailor to your customers, right? To fill their needs and what they need done. And that's, you know, we're doing that with IQ Wi-Fi 6. We're trying to do this with IQ Remote PowerG. That you are at the forefront of our minds in all of this product development. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for your feedback. We want you to be successful. That's truly at the core. Our mission is to help our partners be successful. With that being said, in the chat, I did drop the link for the IQ Pro webinars. We will be off next week, and then the following 2 weeks, we will have 2 back-to-back IQ Pro webinars. Please register for that. You are not going to want to miss that webinar. We are extremely excited about IQ Pro, and we've kind of mentioned it here today. So please register for that. We will be doing some giveaways as well. And I wanted to reiterate, somebody in the chat or in the question section asked, how do you win? Just to restate that, we will randomly select 10 winners from the attendees. We will download a list. If you attended the full webinar, you'll be entered in. If you're one of those random winners, we'll hack it. We'll be reaching out to you by today to get your information and get you your prize. And with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for your participation. And we will see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.